Hello. Hey, how's it going? So I wanted to just give a little bit of insights on a couple juicers. Well, more than a couple, but I have two physically with me right here. I did a bunch of research on which juicers I wanted, and I feel like I was looking for videos that didn't exist. So this is a video that I'm making that I would have wanted to have seen when I was on my juice hunt. The main things that I'm looking for in a juice, and thus a juicer, is really dry pulp, really like cold juice. So these are all the ones that I was looking for were the masticating juicers. I'm not about that centrifugal for the juice. And no foam, or very minimal foam. I think there's some people that love juice foam. I'm not one of those people. And clear, so not a ton of pulp. So I have here the Omega 8008, which is also the 8007, which is a little bit confusing. The only difference is the color. I was super confused when I started looking up Omega juicers because it seemed like there was like 1,000 different models, and I was like, gosh, why are there so many models of like effectively the same thing? But for a lot of them, it's actually just color. So like for instance, the newest one of these I believe is the NCH. I can't remember the letters. I think it's NCH 900 and 800, and the difference is the color. So I don't know why they did that, but anyways, to each their own. So I actually really like this one, and I got it first, and then I was thinking, you know, it's not actually as dry as I thought it would be, and like the pulp, and sometimes things get stuck, and I thought, oh, the other one I have here is the Hurom H-AA juicer, which I'll bring it up after and like we'll go through it. But when this one wasn't working that well, I was thinking, I just need to get the Hurom. Like I'd seen all the videos and I got like sucked in because I was like, yeah, I want like super dry pulp. It seems like everyone keeps saying it's such dry pulp, and like minimal waste and all this stuff and easy to clean. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try it. So I tried it, and surprisingly was not as much of a fan as I thought I would be. I really wanted to be a fan. Like I really like the look of it, and maybe it's just the way the marketing has infiltrated my psyche. I just like really wanted to like be impressed with the Huron, but I wasn't. So anyway, I'm going to explain both and what I liked and did not like about them, but ultimately I will be using this lovely gem. Okay, so first with the Omega 8008, it's I mean, it's kind of a dream, and especially now that I've had the alternative. And I don't want to oversell it. I feel like people often like oversell a juicer, and they're like, the pulp is so dry. Okay, it's not that dry. Like, I don't know what your definition of dry, but like for me, if I'm gonna have really dry pulp, it's like basically it looks like it's been dehydrated. That's what I'm looking for. I don't know if there's a juicer on the market that will produce that. The closest thing I've seen to that is my own hands when prior to getting a juicer, I was blending my celery and then straining it through a hemp, yeah, I think it's hemp, nut milk bag. So my own hands are the closest we can get to that, which makes sense because nature is really intelligent and designs our bodies and everything in a very beautiful way that we try to recreate as humans in our technologies and such, but we like slowly get there. But anywho, coming back, so I'll just like show you how it comes apart because it's actually one of my favorite parts as well. It's super easy to just, so you just da-da, and this comes all out. And then this you can put aside, and then you can take this to the sink. But I actually have a process for getting like the optimum amount of juice out. This screws off like this. This is the screen and the auger. And then this comes off as well. And I was like, does it go like this or like this? I don't know, but I like it like this, so that's what I do. And then this. And then you can just rinse all that, and it's just really easy to clean. And so I'll show you my whole process. I'll give you the inside scoop for how I get the most out of my juice, and then how I clean it. Oh, the one thing though that I didn't love about this, so it came with this, it comes actually with two caps because this one is for when you add on the attachments. So there's some other fun things you can do with this, which I haven't yet because I really just bought it for juicing. But there's all these different nozzles that it comes with. And there are different like shapes and such, so you can like make pasta and I don't know. In my head I'm like, I feel like that's gonna get really messy. But you know, I don't know. I haven't done it yet. Maybe make some sort of like bean pasta because I'm not really eating gluten right now. But also in general, I'm just like more about the fruits and vegetables right now. So like this idea of finding more ways to get beans in my body, I already get a lot of beans in my body. So like I'm like, I don't. Anyway, it's kind of fun. The other cool thing though is like this is what you use the non-screened, I don't know the name of it, but this is what you use for when you're gonna make ice cream or any of the other stuff. But yeah, that's the cool part, is that you could in theory make ice cream with like frozen bananas, which in the past I've made in my food processor and is like a bit of a rigmarole, and cleaning it is a bit of a rigmarole. So I feel like potentially in this it would be better. I just haven't done it yet, but it seems cool when I see it on the internet. But you know, who knows how real that is. So anyways, but the thing that I didn't love, so this is cool because it's an adjuster nozzle. So when you're doing something that's like super, it's got a lot of like pulp and such, like citrus fruits. Personally, I love to juice grapefruit. Then you would, well then I put it on like the largest one so it can like go through quicker, but, or like easier. But then when you're juicing something, like when I'm juicing celery, I put it on the tightest one so that I'm like trying to extract as much as I can. And it doesn't get stuck. If you put it on the tightest one with something that's like just very pulpy, it tends to just get jammed up, and then the auger gets like clogged with stuff, and then it just can't feed anything more through. So, oh yeah, but the thing about this is like it actually broke really shortly after. I juiced this morning and I'm not fully dry yet. Yeah, this actually broke, so they're not supposed to come apart. So it's something I'm actually going to try to resolve today, where I bought it from. Wish me luck. Okay, so when I juice, in my head I'm like, should I show you the Hurom first? But yeah, I'll do that. I'll compare with the Hurom first, and then I'll show you like my whole process, because this is ultimately the one I want to keep and I'm recommending, but I'll show you that after. Also, I would not recommend juicing turmeric. Yesterday I decided to make ginger, turmeric, and then I added grapefruit. It was delicious, and I squeezed lemon in after. It was seriously delicious, but like, oh my goodness, I stained absolutely everything. So that's that. So this is the Hurom H-AA. It's actually, from watching other videos, I learned that it's basically the exact same parts. I'm pretty sure it's made in the same place as the Omega vertical juicer, the VSJ, I think. So that's interesting. But the reason I ultimately bought Hurom is because it seemed like it was easier when needing to return, because I feel like, well, they have a 15-day money back guarantee, which is cool. And also, Omega, it seems like when there is an issue, you have to pay for the shipping of the item to get assessed, and then whatever's going to get sent back out. So I didn't like super love that, but definitely Omega has like a longer warranty. Omega has I think it's 15 years on both the parts and the motor, and Hurom, I think, is 10 years on the motor and 2 years on the parts. So I don't know. But then part of me was like, well, if Omega has like the same product, basically, I don't know if it's the exact same plastic that's used, but if it is, and they're saying that their stuff will last 15 years, then I would assume it's like a similar thing, but I don't know. That definitely plays a part in why I'm ultimately not going with the Hurom. So this comes off like this. A lot of people online were saying like, it's so complicated. I didn't find it that complicated. Now watch, I'll have complications on the video. And then you have the auger in here, and you have the screen, and this feature is actually very cool. I didn't understand it at first when I was seeing it on videos. I was like, what do you mean? How does it, like, juicers kind of blow my mind. I had to really like think about like, how is the pulp and the juice not getting mixed up? My brain is interesting in terms of spatial processing. But anywho, it's cool because so while it's in here, those will turn, so they'll clear the screen. So as juice is being juiced and like pushing through the screen, sometimes it can just get clogged because it's just sitting there with nowhere to go, and gravity can only do so much, and so this helps to just kind of continuously clear it. So that was a neat feature that I did like about this. It's also really rewarding to like open this flap and let the juice flow out. It's like there's something so satisfying about that, and I think that's what really piqued my interest when I was seeing the videos online. However, what I didn't love is, in theory, you see the pulp coming out as it's happening, and you're like, oh yeah, that's really dry pulp. It wasn't that dry though, by the way. I would say it's a similar amount. But the thing is when you actually take it apart, you learn that there's a whole bunch of pretty wet pulp stuck in here. And based on my process of juicing, which you'll see after, I like to take the pulp out. I wanted to take the pulp out of here and squeeze and get the excess out of it. But what I found from the pulp that was in here is that it was like darker in color. So what I believe happens is it gets hotter in here because that's where a lot of the action is happening. So then the actual produce is like oxidizing more and losing nutrients. And it seemed warmer as well, which if something's getting heated up, it's definitely losing nutrients. So I wasn't a huge fan of that. In general, I was juicing celery juice in both of these, and when I juiced the celery in the Hurom, it didn't have the same like zest for life, if you will. It wasn't as vibrant. It felt energetically less potent. The other thing about the Hurom is that on the website it says that there's the warning, and it's like, warning, the plastic that is made of contains a something that is known to the state of California as da-da-da-da, which bless California for their laws of really trying to protect humans, because I don't know, I'm like, how is nobody commenting on this? Isn't anyone weirded out by this? Apparently neither was I, because I still ordered it because I was willing to take the plunge in case, if it was really good, I was like, you know, if that pulp is seriously bone dry, I'm willing to ingest a little toxic plastic. But I don't know what I was thinking, because that's actually super sketchy, one. But two, the minute I opened up the box, I got a waft of like industry, and that's like red flag number one. I did not get that when I opened the Omega. It smelled very clean. And as I was washing, I washed both before I used them, but as I was washing this one, I thought, it would be nice to live in a world where, you know, when we get stuff from the store, we don't have to like wash the industry off of it, that it's actually made in a really like clean and healthy and safe and non-toxic way, that, you know, we might wash it anyways out of habit, but ultimately we don't have to because it doesn't have like toxic plastic residues on it. And then I was thinking back to like, you know, when I opened the Omega, I didn't have that experience. So that was actually pretty cool, and it gives me another plus for Omega. Some of the things that come with the Hurom juicer is this like drying rack, which I don't know. Honestly, I can take it or leave it. I have my own drying system. I don't necessarily need that. But I do see why it's important, because actually this thing takes longer to dry. There's lots of little like bits and bops and places for water to hang out, so it does actually take longer to dry. So also wasn't a fan of that it takes longer to dry. Because I like to like be able to put stuff away and not, you know, have it out. And I guess that's why they made the drying rack, but like I only have so much space. The thing on this too is you have this like pressure open and close release thing, which I mean, it helps with the pulp, extracting the pulp making sure you get like more liquid in your juice and less in the pulp. But I didn't fully buy into it or like feel good with it. The other thing is that like there was always a couple drips on here. And I heard online of some people saying like, this thing is leaking so much. It's like, I didn't have like outrageous amounts of leakage, but there was definitely some drips, and it made me question the integrity of the entire thing. So another thing it comes with is this like larger strainer, which I'm like, again, I could take it or leave. They say it's for like a thicker juice, like if you're going to juice like a banana or something. Personally, if I'm going to have a banana, I'm just going to literally have it in a smoothie. I don't want to juice a banana. But maybe in the future, my future self's going to be like, you're silly. Juicing a banana is the best thing ever. Because things change, right? But anyway, for now, that's just not something that I really care for. This is the attachment for making sorbets and ice creams and such with bananas and other such things. And let's see. Oh, it also came with a tofu press, which was like kind of cool, and I got like excited for, but like again, ultimately I'm like, I don't really need this. Also it's plastic, and I feel like if I get a tofu press, I want like a legit one. And by legit, I mean not plastic. Also because this plastic is questionable, as previously mentioned. And in general, I'm not eating a ton of soy right now. I am interested in seeing about making a bean-based tofu. Well, soy is a bean, but a non-soybean based tofu. But again, like I said before, I'm not like super in a hurry to figure out how to get more beans into my system. So in theory, it sounds really cool, but like in reality, would I use it? I don't know. The hopper comes with a lid, and I don't really understand why, because for me, when I'm storing it, I'm going to put this thing in it and leave it. So I don't know why that came with that, but anyways, it came with it. And then you have your juice containers, your pulp container. I liked that they were big, but also they're a little bit too big and a little bit awkward to clean. And then you have your cleaning tools, which I did really love this. It's super cute and really convenient to get in all the little, you don't really need this in the other one because there's not as many crooks and crannies. And then a similar brush as came with this one. You can see this one is now dyed from my turmeric juicing. But what's cool about this one, on the end it has this little flipper, and then you have this like extra little brush. But like I mean, it's necessary on this one, I guess, because there's, again, the little nooks and crannies. What I did notice about the brushes, though, actually, is I think this one is a better brush. As I started using this, the first time I used it, 2 bristles fell out. And I don't super love that because these are definitely plastic, and then that's going in the water system. Not a huge fan of that. Ultimately wish those bristles weren't plastic. Like maybe they could make them out of cactus root, or I don't know. You know, nature's got all the options for us, but we'll save that for another day. So I think I've mostly explained this juicer. Oh, and there was also a lid that came with the juicing cap, or the thing. So in theory you can make juice, put it in the fridge, but A, I want to drink my juice right away because that's when it's best, and B, I wouldn't want to keep my juice in there because the plastic, I don't trust it. So on all those notes, I'm gonna return the Hurom. I'm sorry, Hurom, like, you know, I really wanted to love you. I really did. But I think that's like generally all of the stuff I wanted to talk about the Hurom. So I do also like that it's a nice finish. Like the matte is very nice. Okie dokie. So let me show you my juicing process. So now I'm very curious if my camera has turned off. We're gonna assess it. We're just gonna assess it. Oh, it's still recording, but the battery's extremely low. So maybe I should do my juice process in a second video. I'm gonna do that. Do I? I don't know, man. It's getting complicated. It's getting complicated, man. No, you know what? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna risk it. We're gonna live life on the wild side today, okay, folks? We're living life on the wild side. Okay, so when I'm juicing, I mean, I could actually give you a juice demonstration, but I feel like we're not set up for that yet. That will be next level. When I'm juicing, so, you know, pretty standard, just turn it on and put the stuff through and it comes out. But the real magic happens at the end. So, first I will unhook this and like tilt it to make sure I get all the lovely juice out. Then I'll generally move this to the side. And then I'll open this, and if there's a little bit of juice in here, I'll dip it on here, and then I'll like poke through the pulp that's in there into the pulp thing. Then I'll open this. Usually, yeah, this usually comes together. And then I'll sort of like dip it down to get the juice, and like, you know, I'm really intense in terms of getting all the liquid. And then I'll open this, and I'll leave this here for now, and I'll take the extra pulp off. I'll put it in here. And then there's usually a few bits here that are like still fairly liquidy, so I'll take those out and I'll put them on the screen here. And then the stuff down here is usually drier, so I'll put that in the pulp part. Then put it aside. Then I'll go through the pulp and I'll squeeze it to get the last little bit of everything. Put it in the compost. Or potentially save it to make crackers. And then I will go and I'll take this additional tool that I have, did not come with a juicer, and I'll put it here, and then I'll take all the like stuff that I've taken out. Oh, I also forgot to show you one other thing, because the screen will have like a lot of like pulpage, if you will. So I'll like run my finger around it and then like leave it in there. It's some nice pulp with some nice juice. You want to really get all that out. So anyways, then it's all in here. So then I'll take it and I'll put it in here. And then from there, I'll like just squeeze it out. And then put the rest in the compost. And then, oh yeah, and then I actually pour the juice through this, just in case there's like a little bit of pulp in here, which there isn't usually a ton, but like I don't know. I like a really pulpless juice. So that's sort of what I do. I also think that when I've seen people juicing, they didn't put this on, but I actually really like having the screen right there so the juice is like immediately getting filtered. That was my preference. I liked that. Anyways, this has been a video. Actually, no, I wanted to mention one more thing in terms of the price. And it's also really interesting, like shopping around is really valid, because there was like a place near me that was selling, let me see, I got the notes here. All the papers. There was a place, so the Hurom H-AA, they were selling it for $6.84, which is very expensive. And I recently bought it online for $100, no, $200 less, for like $500. Granted, it was a 20% off sale that ended not a few days ago, but like, I think it's like there's definitely like ways to like wait and find like cheaper avenues. The other thing, the Omega is much cheaper. This one I bought for, I believe it was $3.09, but then later I saw it for $2.79 somewhere else, so they price matched it, so I got an extra amount back. So that's fun. Although I'm like hoping, because now the store has none left, it shows me, and I need to like do this thing and like assess. I don't know how that's gonna go down, but anyways, that's all I wanted to say on that in terms of price. Just compare them in that. But like honestly, price matters, but I was like really looking for a juicer that was like really good. Anyways, it's interesting that like ultimately this one's cheaper, and it does perform better in my opinion. Now it depends what you're gonna juice. I was like primarily fixated on juicing celery, and still am, and will continue to do so. That was the main reason I got a juicer, and it's been really helpful. I could do a video on that in another session. But if you're always gonna be juicing like very pulpy fruits, like if you really want to juice a lot of like, or like soft fruits, then like really this maybe isn't the juicer for you. Oh, and I also really want to juice ginger. I'm like a ginger fiend, and this one's really good at juicing ginger. This one wasn't bad at juicing ginger too, but it's just I didn't like the way it ultimately tasted when it came out. Like the juice in general, it tasted like it got sad, you know. It had a conversation with some not so nice people, and it felt like it was just sad. It had lost some of its life force, you know, that toxic plastic. It was like, oh gosh, let me help neutralize the toxic plastic, but in doing so, it sacrificed itself. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this video, let me know. Subscribe to my channel. I have videos about all sorts of random things, so a little bit of everything. Yes, I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you for watching.